Hey friends in beauty, if you're a professional makeup artist or beauty pro who is tired of juggling multiple tools to run your business, I got great news for you. Beauty Pro Funnels is here to simplify your life and take your business to the next level. Unlike other platforms like Wix, Squarespace, or Acuity, Beauty Pro Funnels was created by a makeup artist for makeup artists. This is the world's first all-in-one software that helps you book clients, sell your products, and even launch courses all in one place. No need for separate subscriptions that drain your wallet or tools that don't speak your language as a beauty pro. With Beauty Pro Funnels, you're not just getting another booking tool. You're unlocking the ability to create multiple revenue streams, so whether you're behind the chair or not, you're making money. Imagine accepting bookings, selling your beauty products, and offering courses all without the stress of managing separate systems. That could be a big headache. Let me break it down to you one more time. Your website, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. Your portfolio, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. Your booking site, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. And your e-commerce site, host it in Beauty Pro Funnels. Want to offer beauty courses or digital products? You can sell them inside of Beauty Pro Funnels, and you'll be able to send invoices, digital contracts, newsletters, and do all of your marketing directly from your Beauty Pro Funnels account. It's mind-blowing. Listen, you're going to save hundreds of dollars every single month by replacing over 10 platforms when you make the switch to Beauty Pro Funnels like Wix, Squarespace, Acuity, WordPress, Vagaro, Honeybooks, 17 Hats, Dubsado, MailChimp, Klaviyo, Kajabi, DocuSign, even Shopify. It's crazy. I know you got at least one of those. And here's the best part. Tayana and her team spent over a year building plug-and-play templates into your account for pretty much everything, so you never have to start from scratch at all. So all of your appointment confirmations, reminders, and payment reminders and stuff like that for your clients, they have already been written out for you. You can even gather reviews and referrals all on autopilot. You'll free up so many hours of time each week so you can focus on what you love, your artistry. Plus, with their mobile app, you can manage your entire business from the palm of your hand. Send invoices, schedule appointments, and even take payments on the go. I believe in Beauty Pro Funnels so much that I recently moved the Friends of Beauty site to Beauty Pro Funnels, and I am loving it. It's a game changer because it's not just a platform. I swear it is like having your personal business assistant designed specifically for makeup artists and beauty pros like you. So here's the deal. If you want to see what all the hype is about, visit getbeautyprofunnels.com/friends to get a personalized tour and see how Beauty Pro Funnels can transform your business today. That's getbeautyprofunnels.com/friends because you deserve the best tool for your beauty business.
I decided to quit my job to do hair full time. And I was, we built out a salon in my mom's basement and the world went on shutdown. All the money stopped. Everything stopped, and I'm still building out. And I was like, what is something that I can do right now that can bring in some money to continue to build out this space? And I'm like, what is something that people need, that my people need? And at the time, it was products. And I just did endless research. And I'm going to say, the first thing you have to do is eliminate the thought of everyone else that you know, because I think that is where we mess up at, is because we're so concerned about the people that we know. We're concerned about our friends. How is my friend gonna think? What is my mom gonna think? If we removed that personal aspect of being judged by the people that we love and that care about us, most people would flourish with their businesses. But a lot of times we're just so concerned about our neighbors and so concerned about our friends and our family and what they're gonna think. I'm gonna say, act like they don't exist. How to do it. Make sure I went on YouTube. All of the girls in the South was doing it way before we was doing it up north. Atlanta, South Carolina, they were doing the lock extensions and they were doing lock repair, and I was obsessed. Like every day I would come home from work and I would just knit. In my mind, that's what I'm calling it. I'm knitting hair until I was able to actually form locks. And then I realized how I could actually repair the locks using that technique. And and that really became my bread and butter. And that is initially what made me be able to quit my job. Because so many people needed lock repair, so many people wanted lock extensions.
So what are some things that you see people doing with their locks that they shouldn't be doing as far as maintenance goes?
Like what they shouldn't be doing?
Yeah.
Leaving them styling too long.
But when I think about beauty industry, I don't feel like the lock or the natural hair community is something that, like, especially the locked community in
especially the
particular,
lock community.
is a conversation. Even with natural hair, I feel like when people talk about natural hair, they only talk about loose natural hair.
Mhm.
They don't talk about
They
lock.
talk about loose natural hair because you can still manipulate it the way that you want to. You can still straighten it if you want to. With locks, it just is what it is.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get authentic answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. Join me every week as me and my special guest reveal the keys to longevity and success in the beauty industry, from the ups and downs of their journey to the nitty-gritty of their struggles and triumphs. We're spilling the tea on it all, and most importantly, having fun while doing it. You ready?
Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. Now, in today's episode, we have the pleasure of having Emily Prince in the Friends in Beauty guest chair. Emily has turned lock hair into a luxury experience. She is the founder of Privacy Parlor, a boutique lock studio in East Orange, New Jersey that is known for its precision, peacefulness, and powerful transformations. With over 20 years in the game, her work has not only earned the love of her clients, but also caught the attention of Allure magazine as the go-to place for lock extensions in New Jersey. Emily isn't just styling hair, she's creating sacred space for people to take up space. Welcome to the Friends of Beauty podcast, Emily.
Thank you, girl. I was blushing while you was doing that. Thank you. I'm excited to be here today. I really am.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you and get to know you more, learn more about Privacy Parlor. But before we get to chatting away, because I'm just so excited to have you here, we're going to start off with some icebreakers so we can get to know you a little bit outside of what you do professionally.
Okay.
Yes. So, first one, just give us three random facts about you.
3 random facts. I was a professional African dancer. Um, Another random fact. I am a dog mom, and I hope that he does not bark during this dog one podcast. Another random fact. This is super random, but it's at the top of my head, in the front of my head. I am the maid of honor of my sister's wedding, literally this week, and I'm so anxious about it. So that's another random fact.
Oh my God, congrats to your sister. That's a big honor.
It is a very big
I mean, you're her
honor.
sister, so you already know how to like cater to her, take care of her and everything like that. So you'll be fine.
I'm trying.
And we love animals over here at Friends of Beauty. I have a cat that she hops up onto my lap sometimes during the
She's
interviews. I
like,
have to
I want
kind
my
of
screen time too.
like try to keep her down. Like you might see her tail or something. But and then I also used to do African dance.
Did you really? Nice.
Yeah, I grew up dancing with Conqueror for a little bit when I was younger, and then just kind of stopped. So every now and then, if I see the drums or hear
Now I'm
the
about to say,
drums
it's
and
the
everything,
drums.
I
It do
catch the
something to you,
vibe and
don't
I
it?
get out
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
it does.
for sure. What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
Um, Speaking, which is so weird to me because it gives me so much anxiety. I think that giving my opinion on things, people like to hear my opinion. I
Yeah.
think that I have a tendency of saying what people think, and I try to in a nice way. So I say,
Hmm. That's good. Your voice, you have to use your voice more.
yes.
Yeah, for sure. When is the last time that you did something for the first time? Have you had any new experiences?
A new experience. Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm going to say the last time I did something for the first time was the hair summit, the hair education and beauty summit.
Okay.
Sitting at piano was my first time doing something like that. And it was the last time so far, but that was such an amazing experience. It was.
Also, yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little more
Yes.
in a second. The Hair Education Beauty Summit, that was fun. Do you have a current mini win, like a small win or milestone that's leading up to a bigger goal that you've accomplished this year so far?
So far, a mini win. Oh, let me think. And I know I have one. Oh my gosh, let me think. A mini win. You know what? Establishing a team. I have a really,
Mm.
really, really solid team at this point, and that is actually a big win. So
I'm
I'll
right
take
behind
that
you,
right now.
girl.
Yes.
That's like my goal. Literally this week is the week that I told myself, okay, you have a little bit more time since I just came off of doing this event to really focus and like really figure out who I need and put
Mhm.
them in position because it's
Yes.
time and I
I'm
need to
start
like
delegating.
gotta start
Start
delegating
delegating.
for
Mhm.
sure. Okay. And if you weren't the founder of Privacy Parlor, is there anything else you could see yourself doing right now?
I would be a dancer.
You would be a dancer?
Yes, I
Would you do
would.
African dance or?
It would be everything. I most likely would have like a dance studio. I probably would be hosting different events and things like that. That's also my second passion. So I would be in the arts in some type of way.
Nice. Okay. And the arts, I love the arts because it just, I've never attributed the arts to what I do now until maybe about a year ago. I
Mhm.
forgot who I was talking to, and they was talking about how comfortable they are on stage and like talking in front of people because they were in the arts. And I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought
Yes.
about that because I've always wondered like why am I so comfortable doing like stuff like this other than me constantly doing it. But it's because I used to do a little bit of acting, a little bit of dancing, little
And
tiny.
makeup and hair and all of that is artistry. That's a
It
part of art
is.
too. It really is. So
It
yeah.
is. So I love the arts for the youth and like building their confidence and like taking it, to another level when they get older for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So me and Emily, y'all, we met at the Hair Education Beauty Summit.
Yes, we
This
did.
year, I was moderating the Wisdom Well panel, and Emily was one of the panelists. So, how was your experience at HEBS?
It was amazing. That was my first time going to something like that. I went in pretty blind. I mean, I was doing as much research as I could, but I had no idea what it was going to be, how extravagant it was going to be. There was so much talent there. It was very exciting. The panel itself, I was a nervous wreck getting ready for it. But once we got into that room together and all of the ladies were there and we were introducing ourselves to each other, it was such a vibe. Everyone was really, really chill.
So
You
nice.
were very, very prepared. You asked me a question and stumped me because I was just like, how the hell she know that? Like, I swear, I'm listening to you and I'm just like, I mean, my mind, you know that meme with the ladies looking at all the math equations?
Yeah.
That was me because I'm just like, how the heck did she know all of that about me? But you did your research, girl. You did your big one. So it was a good experience. It was.
Thank you. Yes, it was. I have to agree with you. Like when I got there a little early before everything opened up, when the girl was taking me to like the VIP lounge and stuff, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh!" Like this
Right?
really exceeded. I don't know what I expected, but it definitely exceeded whatever I thought I was walking into. And like you
Same.
said, the ladies, including yourself, that were on the panel, were just so down to earth, so welcoming, so warm. It just made it so much, more enjoyable and easier to, do that. And yes, I had to do my research on y'all.
Yes, I see, girl.
I had to dig deep. Yeah, I was excited for that. And are you going back next year?
Yes, actually, my assistant sent me all of the information for that. We're trying to figure out we're gonna do a bigger booth. They asked me if I want to host a class this year about lock extension. So that's what I'm the most excited about. Because when I was walking around, they had like separate rooms where they were teaching classes, and I was like, I want one of those. I want one of those rooms next year. So to be actually offered that, I didn't even have to ask. Chef's kiss. So I'm
Yes, I
excited.
love that. I'll be back next year too, moderating
You
another
will.
panel. I'll be back. And then Laverne, when I saw Laverne this past weekend, she said she got invited back too. So
Nice.
this is gonna be a
All
little
right, it'll be a
reunion.
reunion.
I love it. I love it. So I know Privacy Parlor is more than just a salon. It's a sanctuary.
Yes, it is.
What definitely like decide what made I can't even talk. What made you decide, hello, to go and launch like a private high-end boutique instead of like a large like lock salon?
I knew that because it was something that I needed for myself. I try to create something that I knew that I was in need of. At the
Mm-hmm.
time before I started Privacy Parlor, I had been doing hair for years. I have been doing locks for years. I've been locked for 22 years in May. So I've been locked for a really long time and I've been doing locks for a long time. But I realized there was just like a space that was just needed. So it actually started from a bad hair experience. I love my hairstylist at the time, but it was just a lot of chaos most times that I would go in there. And I had a full-time job on top of
Mm-hmm.
doing hair on the side. So when I went to go get my hair done, I typically just wanted some peace. I just wanted to sit down, get my hair washed. I wanted to just vibe out with my girl because she was good. She did good hair. Me and her vibed a lot. But typically everything else that was going on in the salon was just too much. And
Mm-hmm.
after so many experience of just actually dreading going in to get my hair done, I was just like, something about this needs to change. And I was working on someone's hair. I always had like a little private space, like I have someone in a room. And one of my clients was like, I just love coming here because it's just so private. It feels so exclusive to me. And I
Mm-hmm.
swear, I was in the bed, I kept saying privacy, 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 privacy. And it just grew into that,
Nice.
honestly.
I love that. And I guess you're definitely catering to that demographic of people who are like more like yourself because I think we're so used to the traditional salons of you go in, you wait for an hour, even though you came on time, you
Even
wait
though
for
you
an
came on
hour
time.
for the other person to be finished in the chair and you got that community aspect of it where you're meeting different people and hearing the gossip and like
Mhm.
all the
And that part
drama.
is so enjoyable too. But I realize that so many of my clients that come in, a lot of them are moms. They're working one or two jobs, and this is the
Yeah.
only time they really get to themselves. So
Hmm.
when they come, I take care of them. We play good music. We have good conversations because as a hairstylist, makeup artist, you are damn near a therapist, and
Yeah.
it's just a more intimate space. And I've that first year, I realized how much people appreciate it. I was like, I'm gonna stick with this, and here we are.
Yeah. So the services that you were, so when did you start doing your own hair when you had locks?
I kind of always did my own hair in between,
Okay.
but I also kept a loctician. I think with all of the years that I've had my locks, I probably only had maybe four locticians. I was
Hmm.
very picky. You always want to make sure that you have someone in your hair that you trust. I always say that getting your hair done is an energy exchange, and
Yeah.
I just kept it very short when it came to that. But as far as me, I always did my hair in between. But I'm like the next person. I like getting my hair done by somebody else. I want somebody else to scrub my scalp. I want somebody else
Okay.
to twist my hair. When I do like certain styles and stuff like that, I go in, but for the most part, I like getting my hair done by somebody else.
Yeah. Did you start your locks like from like a big chop or anything?
A big chop, girl. I started from baby locks. I
Oh,
was
wow.
like 12 years old. I was doing African dance. And at the time, this is a time where, locks were really not that popular. But because I was doing African dance, I was around a lot of women that were just very in tune and in touch with themselves. All of their hair
Mhm.
was natural. And I told my mom, I was like, Mommy, I think I want locks. And she was like, Are you sure? Because you got a perm right now, baby. We got to grow this out. And we tried, we grew it out for a few months. And we did all types of stuff. She put like vinegar in my hair trying to strip the perm. None of that stuff worked, girl. So we ended up doing a big chop, and I probably had like 2, 3 inches of hair, and
Oh,
that's how I
wow.
started
At 12 years old.
at 12 years old. It was
Oh,
rough, but it was so worth it.
this is before the like you do the lock extensions now, but this is before the
Yes,
lock extensions and
before
all
the
of these
trends,
advanced
everything.
techniques and all of that.
Yes,
Well, I started my hair was like a little past my shoulder when I
really.
started mine, but then my cousin she started it with coils and then
Hmm.
it went up to like here.
Yes, that shrinkage is real.
I was like, oh my God. So I had that, that weird phase that everybody tries to avoid now with the,
Yes,
the crazy phase. But I love my hair now.
yeah.
I
It,
used to
it,
go to the
it's tough.
salon.
You have to really be tapped in with yourself to go through that first stage for sure.
Yeah, you got to keep some earrings on or something. Keep the face looking cute. But I remember like my earlier stages of going to the salon and everything like that. And I had a really good loctician, but she kept on like combining my locks without asking me. I was like, and every time I would go, because I knew how to do my own hair. So every time I would like take it out, I was like, why is it? I think she was interlocking it. And I would always like go back and separate them back. And then
Yeah.
once my hair did finally get past my shoulders, it was like she was like charging me a whole bunch of money. And I was like, I think I could figure this out. Start doing my own hair.
That'll do it. That'll do it. But
Yeah.
that's typically a problem that a lot of people have with their locks and their locticians. They're combining their hair without talking to them. And like I'm a doctor. This is the treatment plan. This is the things. If I feel like I need to double anything, it's because I'm fearful that it's too weak to stand on its own. We have a
Yeah.
conversation about that. You agree on that, and then I double that. But
Yes, please. Because I do have one up here that's like super thin, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to combine it because it's like I have an even number of locks
oh gosh,
right now.
yeah.
So I always do my hair two-strand twist. I'm like, if I combine it, then it's gonna be an odd number.
I call that a lucky set. When I start someone's locks, I don't go by number, but when I start someone's locks and we find out that the number is even, I'm like, that's a lucky set right there.
Yeah, I love that. So tell us about the services that you do provide at Privacy Parlor.
Okay, so it is a strictly lock salon. All I do is locks. The
Oh,
only service that I do not service is micro locks and sister locks, which I'm getting so many requests from because that is such a big thing right now, but that is not my cup of tea. I don't have the
yeah.
patience for it. But I do regular maintenance and I specialize in lock repair and lock extensions.
Nice, nice. Oh, I do have a question about the lock extensions. Like, what happens when it grows out? Do they just cut the extension off?
Yeah, most
Okay.
people do. Just like you get to a point with your hair, you realize, oh, it's getting too long. Wherever length that you're ready for, that you just remove them. Some
Yeah.
people, like I have a client next month, she's so excited because her hair has grown out so much in the last year and a half since she had the lock extensions. And she's like, I think I'm ready to get rid of the lock extensions. I'm like, all right, girl, whenever you are, I'm ready. So we're gonna remove them. The tricky part is because just to pat myself on the shoulder. A lot of times we really can't tell between their hair and the lock extensions. So we kind of have to really go in there and feel for it and see where it is and then take the lock extensions out.
Wow. Like when did the lock extensions become? a thing, like a perfected thing where it's like you got the hair textures that's matching and like
Yes.
when did this start?
It really has evolved so much. I'm going to say that I learned this technique at this point. Oh my gosh. At this point, it has been maybe like 8 years now. I
Okay.
learned this technique almost by mistake. So I was rehearsing for this talent show. I'm good and grown, but me and a friend of mine, we started working on something to help our school raise more money. So we was doing like an alumni talent show. Anyway, I went to her house to rehearse and her mom was doing hair and she had it was like a thing of afro hair. And I'm watching her. She had a needle in her hand and she looked like she was knitting. So everybody's starting to rehearsal, but me, because I can't help myself, I'm just like, hey, mom, what you doing? And she was like, one of my clients' locks fell out. And I wanted, make some locks for them. I'm like, make some locks. I sat there with her. They had the whole rehearsal without me. I just sat there with her and she
Oh,
taught me how to go in with the crochet needle and use the Afro kinky hair. I went to a regular beauty supply store looking for the hair and I could not find it anywhere. So I found the kinkiest natural hair that they had and I bought a needle and I taught myself how to do it. I went on YouTube. All of the girls in the South was doing it way before we was doing it up north.
oh.
Atlanta, South Carolina, they were doing the lock extensions and they were doing lock repair. And I was obsessed. Like I just every day I would come home from work and I would just knit. In my mind, that's what I'm calling it. I'm knitting hair, knitting hair, knitting hair until I was able to actually form locks. And then I realized how I could actually repair the locks using that technique. And once I perfected it in that first year, it wasn't the best. I was doing lock extensions and them things were slotting out. And I was just like, what is going on? But luckily I
Wow.
was working with people that just understood my talent and just trusted me and knew that I was learning. And once I got it, girl, I got it. And that really became my bread and butter. And that is initially what made me be able to quit my job because so many
Ooh.
people needed lock repairs, so many people wanted lock extensions. And yeah. So I would say for me, I got hip to the game about like 8 years ago.
Oh my gosh. So the lock extensions are something that's actually you're making the actual locks from the kinky
So
hair or you could buy it now.
you can buy it now. So
Okay.
initially at that time, you can get just the Afro kinky hair. I use the Afro kinky hair to repair because some, like you said, you have one that's thinning. Sometimes your hair just need a little extra hair just to support it. So that's when
Yeah.
I use that. But for the most part, you actually can purchase lock extensions and you attach it to your natural hair using the same technique with the crochet needle.
Oh my gosh. I haven't, well, I think I've seen maybe a video before, but I've seen people with lock extensions. Like you see them today, they got loose hair. Tomorrow
Mhm.
they got
They
locks. I'm
don't.
like, oh, okay. I see what's going on here. I think it's so fascinating. I
Yeah.
actually had a friend of mine who did that. Her and her daughter did it.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I don't think it kicked off the Crown Act, but I know that when she went back to school with those lock extensions, they was like, you can't wear your hair like that.
Really?
Yeah, it was in DC. I'm gonna find it and send it to you. It was like some years ago,
Mhm.
but they were definitely having a problem with her coming with lock
Uh,
extensions. It was so
It's
strange.
still a thing. I mean, even though we have evolved so much and people are starting to appreciate and learn more about locks and it is becoming more acceptable, I still have a lot of people when every time I have a new client come in, I'm about to start their locks, whether it's lock extensions or starter locks, I ask them, so are you supported in this decision? Have you told anyone that you're starting your locks? And you'll be so surprised by the responses that I get. Some people, like my family, is so excited, and then some people are just like, I did not tell my mom. She does not like locks. People still don't view it as something that is professional or just deem it as beautiful yet. So
Yeah.
it's still a lot that goes around with, with
Y-
it.
Yeah, for sure. Even I'm so impressed now when I even see like cops with locks. 'Cause I
Mm-hmm.
know back in the day that was not a thing. It
No,
was like braids, locks, any type of natural styles was like a no-go for
no,
certain
no.
professions. Yeah. What's your favorite service to do?
Lock extensions.
Yeah.
Lock extensions and lock repairs. I like it because of the transformation, especially the lock repairs. I have people that come in and they've just been having such a hard time with their locks. There's so much judgment when it comes to our hair, especially black hair. And people are just like, why don't you just give up? Why don't you just cut it? But some people have such a connection, an emotional and spiritual connection to their hair that they don't want to just give up. So when they finally find someone that can actually help them and kind of get them back on their feet, I love being able to do that. So I've had people that come to me and they've been through things, depression, all type of things, and I'm able to kind of just give them a head start and just say, listen, I'm about to freshen you up, get your hair right, and that could be their new start. And I really appreciate doing that. So I'm going to say lock repair and lock extensions.
Okay, for sure. Now tell me, is there anything that could be done about the lint that gets trapped in the locks?
No,
Uh,
I know, and that's oh my gosh, that frustrates everyone
because I'm
so
like,
much.
if I could create a product, it would be a product that like disintegrates the lint some kind of way without damaging the lock.
That's the only problem, that if you get something that disintegrate that lint, is most likely going to do the same thing to your hair. So
Right.
the only thing that you really can do is dye it or accept it. I
Mm.
have heard something, and I need to do a little bit more research on it, but I heard something about black tea rinses. And I heard that, first of all, black tea is really good for your hair. It stops shedding and things like that, but it also tints the lint that's in it. So that might be an option as well.
But yeah, but
Some
with your
people want
hair
to
is
pick
like
it
a
out, but
lighter
once you pick it
color.
out, yeah. But once you pick it out, people try to pick it out. But once you pick it out, you're picking out your locks.
Yeah,
You
girl,
make
I
your locks
know.
very weak. So you try. I'm guessing you try, huh?
Every now and then I catch myself, and I always tell myself too, like if I were to start my locks over, I would
Mhm.
just be more intentional about like my clothing choices and stuff like that, so that the lint is not getting trapped. It's not really bad though. It's not
Mhm.
terrible where I feel like I need to go
It's
in like,
typically our back row, and our back rows, because it rubs against our clothes. We
yep.
don't see it right away. So by the time we do see it, I remember thinking that I didn't have any lint in my hair. And I had went live one time on TikTok, and
Uh-huh.
I went to rewatch a live. My hair was up in a bun, and I was just like,
Girl, it drives me
I
crazy
was
because
like, is
like
that the back of my hair? I was mortified. I was like, oh my God, I'm thinking I'm walking around scotch free. That I don't got no lint in my hair. And I sure did.
that because it catches me like I just and then like once I start picking, it's like I can't stop.
You
So
can't stop.
now like you said, I have accepted it. It's not terrible. So I've seen some locks where it's like, look, I got something in my hair right now. I've seen some where it's like, oh wow, maybe they should try to
Yeah.
camouflage that, but
I noticed it a lot with children, that
mm,
they typically get a lot of lint throughout their entire head. And that's because they just have the luxury of just being carefree. They're rolling around on the ground and stuff like that. And I see it more in kids where their entire head is full of lint.
yeah, for sure. I saw you had some products. You were selling products
Yes, I
at
was.
Hooks. What were
I
you
was.
selling?
So I have a mist and I have an oil. I'm doing a mist and an oil because I'm really trying to help educate in regards of how to properly moisturize our hair. I know
Mm,
for so many years I was not fully sure of how to moisturize our hair, but the key is water. The water is your moisture. Oil is your sealant. So my oil is jojoba and argan oil. Jojoba is very light. It promotes growth, and that argan oil gives that nice little shine that you want. And the mist
nice.
is rose water and distilled water and peppermint essential oils that smells really good. So it's a good refresher. That's everyone's favorite. That's what sells out the most, the mist,
Mhm.
because it smells good and it stops what I call the crunchies. When our hair start getting real stiff, you
Yes.
know what I mean? You just gotta like liven it up a little bit. That's what that mist does. And every time everyone is like, I love the mist because it's kind of like a spray and go situation. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was talking to my friend in beauty, Jane. She's the CEO of the Virgin Hair Fantasy. Not a lock product, but like, weave and stuff. And but all of her kids and her husband has locks. And she asked me, she was like, you don't have products for your locks? And I'm like, I never thought about it because I'm not like a loctician or anything like that. But she was like, but the care that you put into your hair, you should have some products. So I was like, maybe I'll think about coming up with some lock products because I'm super low maintenance when it comes to my hair. So I'm like, what would I actually sell to people? Because I don't really be doing nothing to my hair. I'm more like a hands-off type of, I don't retwist it too much and
Same.
like tug at it too much. I just kind of let it do its thing. So it's something I've been considering ever since I had that conversation with her a few weeks ago. Like,
You
maybe
absolutely
that was
should.
something.
When I decided to do it, well, when I decided to do it, it actually was a little bit out of desperation. I'm gonna be honest. It was during the pandemic.
Hmm.
So I decided to quit my job to do hair full time. And we built it out a salon in my mom's basement, and the world went on shutdown. All the money
Hmm.
stopped. Everything stopped, and I'm still building out. And I was like, what is something that I can do right now that can bring in some money to continue to build out this space? And I'm like, what is something that people need, that my people need? And at the time, it was products. And
Hmm.
I just did endless research. And I'm so mad we didn't have Chat GPT. Chat would have made it so much happier for me. I mean, easier for me. But girl, like I'm talking about, I'm all on Google trying to figure out what are the best products and what is something that I like that I want to use. And I remember once I finally found jojoba oil, I was just so big on it because everyone was always using black castor oil, but that is so thick and it's not for
Yeah.
everyone's hair. So once I
Hmm.
finally found jojoba oil, I just loved how light it was, and I just went from there. I tried a bunch of different combinations of oils until I found something that felt that I would actually use. Because I can't sell anything that I don't know that I wouldn't use myself.
Right.
Once I found my formula, I sold it during the pandemic. I literally would have people show up because I was doing shippings, but I would prefer because everybody was, there in my community. They would come, I'll sit on the porch, and me and my mom, and we were selling those oils on the porch during
I
the
know that's
pandemic.
right. Shoot, you got to make it happen.
Yes.
How long were you shut down?
About a year.
Really?
Yeah. And then once the world did finally open up and everyone's ready to get their hair done, we were still building out the space. There was just so much to do. My family's basement initially, that's the family's basement. So there was a lot of things down there. It took a lot to clean it out and just make sure that it was right and up to code. So
Yeah.
it took some time. But once we finally opened up, I've been booked and busy ever since, girl.
I love that. Have you seen any I don't know how to ask the question, but what are some things that you see people doing with their locks that they shouldn't be doing as far as maintenance goes? Like
That
what
they
is the
shouldn't
thing?
be doing,
Yeah.
leaving them styles in too long.
Okay.
Leaving them style. My clients, they be ready to block me. Don't let me
Maybe
go because
starting to fuse together. You gotta rip the hair apart.
yes. And I really don't be on Instagram that much, but when I go on Instagram, I'm stalking my clients. So I want to know how long you had that styling. How long you had that styling. For the most part, when you're getting a regular style, especially like barrels, it should not be in for more than 2 weeks. If you're doing
Mhm.
2 strand twists, you can do 3 to 4 weeks. I prefer 3 weeks, but I can fair, you can do 4 weeks. That's the one thing that drives me crazy. And I will send I seen your picture. You looked cute, but take the style out.
Yeah, it's time. It's
So that's the
time.
one
Then you
thing.
can have some crinkles with those two
Yes.
strands.
And I
Like,
tell people you didn't get a chance to enjoy the second look after the 2 strand twist because you taking out your 2 strand twist in the car before you come to me. What the heck? What the
and you
hell?
left two of them in the
Yep.
back. You
So you
skipped over.
know, I'm washing hair and I'm just like, you ain't even get them all out. That's how I know you just took them out.
Yeah, that's what I be doing. I find myself doing that all the time. Even the bob that I had for
Mhm.
at Hebs, when I take that out, I'm always leaving like one. I'm like, oops, I forgot one.
That's one of my most popular styles as well.
Yeah.
Everyone loves themselves a lock bob. I call it the Babianas. They love them a Babiana.
People be asking me like, what is they? People stop me like, what is this style called? I be like, a bob, I think,
It's a
because I
lock
do my own
bob.
hair, so I'm like a bob. I think it's a bob. Yeah. It's just that my hair is super long, so it looks a little bit different than some people's when they like twist, they roll it back up. Mine's
Yeah,
like so
because you
thick.
have a nice yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some clients that have really short hair and they want that. So I use Afro kinky hair, and it
Yeah.
can be the
Oh,
synthetic hair, and I use that so they can get that. I call it like the little light bulb thing at the end, and
yeah.
everybody likes that part. So
Yeah.
I have
I'm
hair so they can get
super.
that look.
I'm over here thinking as you're talking, like I'm super excited to have you here because I feel like I don't know how you feel about it, but do you think that locks in particular kind of gets excluded from the conversation of like beauty industry, like being because
Absolutely,
I'm like you're the first person I've had
absolutely.
here that's like a loctician, and I'm like I'm super excited to talk to you, of course, because I could talk about it, you know.
hmm
But when I think about beauty industry, I don't feel like the lock or the natural hair community is something that like, especially the locked community in
Especially the
particular,
lock community.
is a conversation. Even with natural hair, I feel like when people talk about natural hair, they only talk about loose natural hair.
Mhm.
They don't talk about a
They
lot.
talk about loose natural hair because you can still manipulate it the way that you want to. You can still straighten it if you want to. With locks, it just is what it is. Even though
Hmm.
we are watching the Bailey sisters, they're doing their thing as far as just showing us the different options that we have in regards to styling it. But we
Yeah.
do the lock community does get excluded. You have some people that really like it, and some people that just don't, and you have most people that really don't care for it.
Interesting, because you know where I live at in DC, you one, two, three, well, every third person got
Mhm.
locks. Like it's not even a
Mhm.
unique thing anymore. It,
Yeah.
it almost made me consider like not having locks anymore because I like to be different. And I'm like, if everybody got locks, then but that's why I like my hair sprinkles and stuff
Yes,
now.
I
That
see. I
makes
was looking
me
at the very, very cute.
yeah, that
But
makes me
the thing
sad.
with locks, and the reason what has I well, no, I was gonna say one of the reasons why I've always kept my locks. No, my locks are just a part of who I am at this point. But
Hmm.
I know it's still trendy. So think about it. A lot of people locked their hair during the pandemic. So now I don't know if you noticed it, but especially on TikTok, I'm a big TikTok girly. I love TikTok. You are watching a lot of people comb their locks out, and that's because the trend has changed. When everybody was on lockdown, everybody was like, you know what, this is the perfect time for me to lock my hair. I can go through the ugly phase, in the house and
Right.
things like that. And by the time we got to what we at this fifth year, everybody's combing their locks out because it was a trend. But for some
Yeah.
people, it's a lifestyle. And
Yeah.
that is the difference. That's why I would say you don't have to remove your locks because you're gonna still the same. You can count maybe 5 people that you know that have locks. In 5 years, at least 3 of them gonna get rid of their locks. You know what I'm saying? So
So true. So true. Oh my
stay
God.
ahead of the curve, girl. Keep your locks.
Oh my God. This super long. I've had mine for 17 years and I always think
Wow.
about trimming them to like maybe like here.
Oh yeah, I
And
cut. I'd have no problem. I get scissor happy. I will cut my locks. This is my hair is actually like it's like waist length now. But normally I don't even let it get to this because by the time we get to this point, I'm just like, it's just too doggone
It's a
long.
lot. It's a lot. It's so beautiful, but it be in the way. I've
Mm-hmm.
closed my hair in the car door before several
Yes. It
times.
get wrapped up in your shirt.
And
Like,
the strap of the bag, it just
yeah,
that's why I keep it in the bob now because it's just,
out of the
it's out of
way.
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw on your Instagram, I mentioned it during the panel, but I want to know more about it. I saw on your Instagram that you had taken like a 6 week leave of rest and like to reset. Like what was going on at that time? Like what made you do the whole reset and everything?
Um, honestly, a little bit of trauma. My best friend had passed away.
Oh no.
I'm
I'm
just
so
gonna
sorry
give
to hear
dates
that.
because that's how everything is just in my mind. So I was working a full-time job as an assistant disciplinarian at a school, STEM Academy in East Orange. Shout out to them. And October, my best friend passed away. And I worked through October, and then November, my birthday came. And my mom and his mom as well was very just worried about me. And they were just like, I think that you should just take a break from work, you know? So it really was my mom and my best friend's mom who passed away, his mother, that was just really influencing me to just take a break because I just was not okay. I was very,
Mhm.
very depressed. There's a lot of things that you expect in life, but you never expect to lose your best friend. And
Right.
that was really, really hard. So that is initially what did it. But what came from it was I kind of adapted his spirit a little bit. He was just he was an Aquarius. He, you Aquarius?
I am.
Oh, wow. Yes, he was an
What's his
Aquarius.
birthday?
February 17th.
Nice. I'm the fourth.
Oh wow. So he just, you guys go to y'all have your own beat of the drum. Like y'all just do your own thing. And I am a Scorpio fixed sign. I like things to be a certain way. And I kind of just stick with that path. And after he passed away, I just wanted to adapt his mindset because he just lived such a free life while he was here. And I took that leave of absence. And each week that went by, I was like, I don't think I should go back. I don't think I should go back. And I was like, what would he do? And I'm like, he would quit because he was somebody that would quit a job up and move to a whole other state. I mean, I
Okay.
never seen nobody do nothing like that. He would just leave. And I was like, what about your foundation here? And he just like, I could make that anywhere. And
Hmm.
that's really what it was. I took that time and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna go back. So in honor of him, on his birthday, February 17th, I quit my job. And after
Wow.
that, that's when I completely dedicated myself to Privacy Parlor. So that's how that happened.
So February 17th, what year?
To February 17th, 2019. No, 2020. 2020. It was 2020.
And then the
Yes.
pandemic
Right.
happened.
And then the pandemic happened in March. Can you believe it? I was shaking in my boots. I was so confident in that decision. My mom was completely supporting me at the time. I had just moved back home. And she was like, listen, if you're gonna do something like that, this is the perfect time. You're home, you're supported, you got everything that you need. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And then the pandemic hit, and I was just like, I
You
was
get,
not expecting it.
but at least you were back home somewhere safe and you had the support of your mom
I
and
did.
everything too. What was it like moving back home?
Hard because
Yeah.
it's different when you're living on your own. At the time I was in a relationship, so that relationship had ended, and I mean, God knows it needed to end, but it was still a change from living on my own to moving back home. And it's an ego thing too.
Yeah, for
Have to,
sure.
pack back up and tail between your legs coming back home.
Hmm.
But there was just so much happening that it just made so much sense, especially with me grieving my best friend. I just needed to be home. I needed to be somewhere safe mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And that's exactly why. And it worked out. It worked out perfectly. I wouldn't change anything about how that happened because like I said, the pandemic hit and just being able to, even that was a very scary time. We're so used to trauma that we kind of like joke about the things that we go through, but the pandemic was scary as hell.
Yeah, for
It really, really
sure.
was. And to be able to go through that and just be safe with my family. My brother was there, my stepdad was there. The block that we've lived on where Privacy Parlor is, we've owned this house for over 20 years now.
Yeah.
So everyone on the block, we're all family. We were able to operate as a community during that time. So it was really good.
Wow. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear about your best friend. And like the thing with grief and like running the business is it's such an interesting thing because it wasn't my best friend, but something similar happened where my god sister passed away in December 2019. And then it was like a whole thing. She passed overseas, and then we had to get her back here. And then the funeral was literally the day after my birthday. And then the pandemic happened. So it was this weird feeling of like I know that I need to work, but I don't feel motivated to do anything.
Yeah.
Like how am I supposed to show up on Instagram and motivate the people and I don't even feel like doing that myself. So I did like a whole episode about it at the time about just grieving and being a creative and being a business owner because like of course business still has to
You gotta
run, but it's
run, yeah.
like how do you give yourself the time to like grieve but still have to run a business? It's like a weird
It's,
thing.
it is. It's a tricky situation to be in. And even me, even after he passed away, I didn't stop fully working with doing hair. You know, I still needed to make money even with me being sad. So
Yeah.
it was rough. But luckily for me, I've been very picky on my clientele. I say it all the time. I will fire a client so quickly because the
Good.
vibe has to be right. The energy has to be right. This is not just for you. This is also for me. I'm doing something that I love. So I want to make sure
Mhm.
that I'm doing it with people that make sense. So luckily, when I was in that grieving space, people already knew he had cancer. So people already knew that he was not sick, you know, that he was sick. So
Yeah.
when it happened, I was supported. I received flowers. People really, clients really, you know, put love into me, and it made it easier for me to be able to work while I did.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned earlier that doing the lock extensions helped you transition from
Yes.
the 9 to 5
Yes.
to,
Money wise, that's what it was. Because
yeah.
once I started advertising that I could repair hair, I would repair my own hair. I had
Hmm.
locks for years. So there was, you know, locks that had been damaged. And I would go online and I would show them, like, look, this is what I can do. And after that, I started booking people for that. And the success of that funded me being able to make a decision to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah. If you can offer any advice to someone out there, because there's a lot of people in the beauty industry that's like, I want to leave my 9 to 5 and be full time, like beauty pro. Like you had a plan or you had the income or to support it. But what advice could you give to somebody who's kind of like in that position where they're like, I'm ready to leave my 9 to 5 and go full time into my business?
I'm gonna say, kind of just do it. What this is something people ask me this question a lot, and I'm like, you'll be so surprised how much of a survivor you are. Once I
Mm.
decided that I wasn't gonna work there anymore, that put fuel in my back because now what? Where the money coming from? You can't decide, oh, you know what? I don't feel like working this day. I want to go out. No, girl, you actually gotta go to work. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say just always have a plan. You do want to, you know, be strategic, make sure that you can take care of yourself, especially if you have children, but you really just have to do it. Sometimes
Yeah.
we overly plan and we plan ourselves out of doing it. And for me, it was just
Mhm.
like, go for it. And
Yeah.
don't stop hustling. Don't stop, you know, and that's really what I did. I put my, what they say, put your boots to the ground or whatever it was.
Yes.
And that's exactly what I did. And I was able to accomplish everything I needed to.
I hear that. And like during those slower times, like you transitioned into this business and then the pandemic hit and you weren't able to take clients. Like, how did you keep up just the faith or the belief in what you were doing for your business?
For one, prayer. And I said it during the panel, my family, like the build out that we had to do for Privacy Parlor, I could not afford all of that. My mama could.
I hear
She was
that.
able to support me, you know what I mean? And I know that was a sacrifice for her. I know that she was taking out loans and taking out money out of her 401k, but she trusted in me. She believed in me. She believed in what I was trying to do. So she definitely supported me. But also I had funding. I was able to get a PPP loan. I was able to get certain funding. So there were certain avenues that I did take to help cover me. On top of
Yeah.
that, I did the oils. I did those oils and sold my oils out in a weekend. In two
Mm.
days, I sold out all of my oils. So I really was hustling. I was pulling in certain funding, support for my mom, the money that I had also saved up on top of the money that I was making from oils. And I used all of that to fund the business.
I hear that. Because I'm always like, where the money coming from?
I'm
Like,
telling
where the
you.
coins at? I'm
But we
like
really
really,
do. And you were the one you was telling me about like just the certain grants. I think you was telling me
yeah.
about print and things like that, which I'm gonna be looking into. There is funding and during the pandemic, if you have obviously people that took advantage during the pandemic, but there really were a lot of things that you could do as a business owner if you were trying to start a business that there were you know there were resources for us, but you just really had to find them. I had
Yeah.
clients that are just very smart, very business oriented, that was sending me different grants and sending me things and saying, listen, you can get money doing this. I had nothing but time. So I was filling everything out. I got a lot of no's, but I did receive a few yeses that was able to help sustain me. So
Yeah, I love that. The PPP loan. I'm glad you on the good side of it, not the one
okay. Right.
you get
And I
caught
got
up.
it forgiven too.
Yes, not on the shade room. Talking about taking advantage of the people. I was so scared to do that thing though. I was so
Everyone, a
scared.
lot of people were, but I had no, I I couldn't be scared. I mean, I was scared, but I couldn't be scared because I knew at the end of the day, I do have a business. I do have what they're asking for. let me see what my options are. And luckily it
Yeah.
ended up working out for me, and it was very helpful, and even better that I was able to actually get it forgiven. But you do have people that take advantage of it. And at a time like that, what we were going through, people were desperate. I don't try
Mm-hmm.
to kick dirt on anybody because people were desperate. We weren't
Yeah.
working, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to do what you have to do. But luckily for me, it actually worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad it did for sure. I know one thing you mentioned was like you used to equate professionalism with kind of not playing too big, kind of
Mhm.
staying behind the scenes a little bit. What's the
Yes.
moment in your career where you realized shrinking yourself wasn't serving anyone, not even like your clients?
I'm gonna say the most current moment, and it really it was the panel. I don't know why that moment stuck out in my head so much because I know that I have a story. I know that I have something to say, but I was quite intimidated being on the stage with those women. They were phenomenal. Those were some heavy hitters on that stage. And I remember my partner, before I walked out, I was so nervous. Like before I even got there, I was in the car tearing up and stuff like that. I was so nervous.
Oh,
She just kept reminding me, like, you deserve to be here. Like, you have worked
yeah.
so hard. Like, you have a wonderful story. You make sure that you tell it. And when I got on stage, I found myself kind of shrinking myself and just, you asked me a question. I was telling people, I'm like, the mic was like a hot potato in my hand. I was like, and hand it off. You know what I mean? And because I didn't want to take up too much space. I didn't want to talk too much. I didn't want it to be too long-winded. But
Yeah.
my story is my story, and that was my moment to speak on it. So I feel like that was, I'm sure I've had other moments, but that's the biggest moment that I can think of, where I just realized, like, you are great, you are
Hmm.
worthy, you do deserve to take up space.
Yeah.
And at that moment I realized that, and that's why I could not wait to talk to you again, so I could comfortably take up space and just remind myself that, once again, that I am worthy, and that my story is worth being heard as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a common thing amongst I don't know if, well, I'm in the beauty industry, so I could say amongst beauty pros, for sure, is just confusing like professional. It's like a fine dance, like a, I don't know what it is, like a balance between, and I think it depends on how you grew up too, because some people are of the belief of like, I hear some people say, I don't want to brag, or I
Yes,
want to feel like I'm
yes. Want to be
bragging.
humble and
I
things
want to
like
be
that.
humble. So
Mhm.
it's like, am I not humble if I talk about all the things that I accomplished? I'm just telling you, what I did. And
Yes.
always being afraid of like how you're going to be perceived, if you're going to be perceived as braggy and,
Or
things like that.
arrogant. And
Hmm.
that's because as Black women, we are not supposed to be arrogant. We're not supposed to be boasting and things like that. But why the hell not? Why can't we talk our smack? You know what I mean? Men do it all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have to make room for that, and to not judge one another when we do it. I want to hear you talk about all your accolades, girl. Let me hear it, because to me it's very inspiring. But I
Yeah.
realize, even though I want to hear from other people, I'm afraid to do it myself because I don't want to be judged in turn. So I'm still
Yeah.
doing it.
Because I could say I kind of do the same thing sometimes. It depends on where I am. I've been in situations where I'll meet people and I just tell, I'm a makeup artist and a podcaster, and I'll just
Mhm.
be talking to them because I'm me, because I
Mhm.
know I'm just me. Like I don't look at myself as, even though I've accomplished a lot, I don't look at myself like that. So it's like when I exchange my Instagram and they go on my Instagram, they be like, "Girl, now
Same,
come on
same,
now." You downplayed
same.
yourself. I'm like, I mean, you know,
Wait, how about the fact that sometimes I would actually be out, I would be talking to somebody with locks, and we just be talking, talking, talking. And my girl would look at me and she like, so you're not gonna tell them that you do locks? And I'm just like, no, like, she was like, excuse me, she's a loctician. Like, she would have to almost speak up for me sometimes, because I just
yeah,
don't want to just put it out there. I want it to be organic and be natural. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hi, my name is Emily, I'm a loctician.
yeah.
That doesn't hurt anybody, but sure enough, you won't find out until you happen to find me on TikTok. And you'd be like, you do hair? You do
And
hair
you
like
should be giving advice,
that?
bomb advice, lockology 101,
Yes.
all the things.
Now it's not a secret. People come up to me like, I seen you on TikTok. You be doing locology, right?
Yeah.
So the
Sometimes you
cat's
gotta
out the
play.
bag now.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes I haven't done it in a while, but sometimes I'll create a post and be like brag on yourself, like brag below on
Hmm.
yourself, because
I like that.
sometimes people don't, it depends on the people that they have around them too. Sometimes they don't even feel comfortable bragging on themselves because the people around them are going to make them feel like, girl, you being too much or you doing too much. But brag, it's safe to brag on yourself
Yes,
here.
it
We want to
absolutely
hear it.
is.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone right now who's building a brand and they're just afraid of being seen fully because they might think it may be too much or unprofessional?
I'm gonna say, for the first thing you have to do is eliminate the thought of everyone else that you know. Because I think that is where we mess up at, is because we're so concerned about people that we know. We're concerned about our friends. How is my friend gonna think? What is my mom gonna think? If we removed that personal aspect of being judged by the people that we love and that care about us, most people would flourish with their businesses. But a lot of times we're just so concerned about our neighbors and so concerned about our friends and our family, what they're gonna think. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, act like they don't exist. Make sure that they're not your first client. And I mean, you want them to be, you hope that they'll be, but
Yeah.
operate as if you're not trying to serve them and serve yourself. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I would say. I would say eliminate the thought of your family and friends and appeasing those people, because that gets in the way a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, for
And it
sure.
leaves room for disappointment, because a lot of times, not all times, but a lot of times when people start businesses, they expect that their first client and their first sale is going to be people they know. They're typically the last ones, honestly.
Yeah.
Our family and friends tend to get on once they realize that we actually really lit. You get that um validation from strangers most times. You know what I mean?
It's so
So
true.
I say, act like you don't know them people, completely focus on that you're working for strangers, and then hopefully everything else falls in place.
Yeah, don't have the expectation that your family is gonna be the one to book, like fully book you out. They be the
No.
ones asking for the discounts, or you ain't gonna, do
Mhm.
can you do a little something? Like, girl, if you don't get out my face. Yeah, it's not until like you get reposted on like, I know for me it was like different accolades of like Essence or doing different projects and stuff like that. They be like, oh, now they
Oh,
look
that's
at
when they
like,
start taking you
oh,
seriously. Uh-huh. That's when
mm-hmm.
it's not a little hobby no more to them. They be like, oh, she really doing it. Yeah, I've been really doing it actually. Even when I had 20 followers, I was doing it, you know?
So do you have any plans on eventually replacing yourself physically in the business? Like how long do you like plan on physically like doing the hair?
I do have plans. I do. It's just challenging to find someone. I keep saying I want two young girls. Like I want me some young, straight out of high school girls that just really that love hair, because that's the most important thing. I think I get people often that want to work with me. I've had people that work with me. To them, a lot of times it's just a money grab, because yes, you can make good money doing this, but do you actually love this?
Yeah.
I need to know that there's some type of passion there, because that is always felt. And like I said, this is energy exchange. This is not just a money exchange. Yes, you are paying me, but at the end of the day, we're exchanging something more powerful than that. So I really want and hope to be able to find some girls that are just very passionate about locks, passionate about Black women in community and how we can kind of make that a thing. And absolutely, I want to remove myself from the chair and just become a mentor, honestly, become a teacher.
Yeah, yeah. So as you expand, like what kind of boundaries or guardrails do you think you would have to have in place in order to keep that private, transformational spirit of Privacy Parlor and not like get too big?
Um, well, when I do expand, just really prioritizing the privacy aspect, make sure that even if I'm in a much bigger space, which I am manifesting, which I am working on, even if I am in a much bigger space, that it is still private. I actually had an opportunity to get a salon that was turnkey, and I had to decline it because I knew that if I did that, it would completely change my motto, and that's
Yeah.
not what I'm going for. So I have to be very strategic on how I grow and how I'm able to keep the privacy aspect.
But do you think it would be like salon suite style Privacy
Pretty,
Parlor, like
yes,
Privacy
very
Parlor,
much
but
so. Let me tell you something. I felt like I had invented something, because in my mind, Salon Suites was always what it was going to be, but it never had a name. And it wasn't
Mhm.
until maybe like a year after the pandemic that my partner's best friend was telling me about someone that she knew that had Salon Suites. And I'm like, what the heck is Salon Suites? And when I started looking up, I'm like, this is my concept. This is my concept. Like, and so yes, it's very similar to Salon Suites, but I don't want it to be very Salon Suites. It's very individualized.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I still want everyone there to be together, to be a partner, that you are working with
Yeah.
Privacy Parlor, that you have the same standards that Privacy Parlor has, and that's just loving what you do, taking care of people, and it not just being a cash grab. You know?
Yeah, for
So yeah,
sure.
it's in the same field of that, but I want to do it on a higher level, a more
Hmm.
intentional level.
Yeah, I like that. I can see it already.
Thank you.
Yeah, how do you personally recharge or yeah, how do you personally recharge or just take care of yourself when you're like juggling business and your personal life, all of those things,
Vacation.
friendships?
Vacation, girl, you would catch me on the flight
I
so
know
quick.
that's
You would
right.
catch me on the flight so quick. I'm actually keeping it cute right now because I'm really working on just the expansion of Privacy Parlor and just what I want the next year to look like. So that means I gotta hustle really hard right now. But it typically looks like a flight. And also doing things like getting a massage, um taking my days off and actually making them days off. My family is always on me like, are you really off today? Because I have a day off, but my laptop is in front of me. I got
Oh,
laptop, the
girl.
iPad, everything in front of me still working. But I don't mind doing that stuff as long as I got my blanket and my dog next to me, you know what I mean? So those moments are how I fuel myself. But also, like I said, taking care of your body. I make sure that I work out. I tell my mom all the time, like, working out is not just for my body, it's for my mind. If you can get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do something that you hate doing, do anything. I am not going to be someone, as much as I love dancing, I do not like working out. I really do not. But I know that if I'm able to do this, I can do pretty much anything. And it has shown me that I can. So it takes discipline.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a slave to the laptop. People know like my laptop is like my baby. I take this thing everywhere. I be at my friend's house, like chilling.
Yep. Same. I will be out. I'm talking about out on a function with my iPad.
Yeah.
Like, because my mind is always going, especially as a creative, my mind is always going, new ideas, things that need to be implemented. I would never forget one day I promise you, I was in a club and I had a client. I forgot what it was that she wanted to do. It's actually the little light bulb things. I could not figure out how to do that thing for whatever reason. And I was in the club and I had like these like a drawstring, the pants, and I was playing with it. And I literally in the club taught myself how to do that wraparound thing. And I'm telling my friends, I'm like, I figured this thing out with hair. And she looking at me with a drink in her hand. She like, girl, who cares? What? We turned it up. I'm like, I know, but I figured this thing out in the club. So my mind is always going like, so that's just how my brain works. I
That's so
get it,
funny.
just always being activated.
I know I don't lack ideas sometimes. I just lack the execution, like on how to do it. So I'm reading this book now called Who Not How that just
Mm-hmm.
basically talks about, getting people in place to do the things. You don't have to do
Nice.
everything on your own. Give me some advice though before you go. Give me some advice on building a team, girl. Like,
First, list out everything that needs to be done. I would say
okay.
that much. And figure out what you can do to what can be passed off to someone else. This part here, this is all you. This has to be you.
Yeah.
This is about you. So this
Mm-hmm.
part can't be passed off, but who's sending out those emails for you? Who's
I gotta
vetting
be
your
doing
people
it.
for you?
Mm-hmm.
Who's handling your social media? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? All of these things have jobs, and you can find someone else to outsource those jobs for you just to make things a little bit easier. I went and I'm gonna shout them out because they really helped me out. They're called Imperative Concierge. I found
Okay.
them as a Black-owned business, is a woman who helps find you a virtual assistant in all different capacities. You can get a virtual assistant to just do like administrative stuff. You can find someone virtually to handle your social media. It is up to what you need. And it has this very strategic way that she finds people for you. And I've worked with her at this point for the last 3 years. The assistant that I have now, I found through her. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to say outsource someone. Outsource
Nice.
someone to
Are they
figure
like
out.
virtual or like in Jersey?
No, they're virtual.
Okay.
Actually, my assistant, she now is she lives in DC, but we just actually had our first the first time I met her actually was at the Hair Education and Beauty Summit. She came from
Wow.
DC to be there for me for that weekend. She sure did. And it was a great relationship that I've been able to build with her. She just gets it. There is nothing better. There is nothing better. I always say there's two things I'm gonna pay, bills I'm gonna pay. I'm gonna pay my rent and I'm gonna pay her because I can't do nothing without them.
That's
I can't do
nice.
anything without it. And once you have someone that understands your brand, understands you, and
Mhm.
it just wants to work to help make things better, you can do almost anything. And I feel like I could do damn near anything with her. So I'm
Oh
gonna say,
my
find you
God.
somebody, girl. I'm gonna
So what
send you
did
the
she?
link to Imperative Concierge, and that could be your first start for
Yeah,
sure.
send it to me. Like what? So what does she do for you in particular, your assistant?
So she handles the back end. So when you think about like a salon, like that's one thing, but there is administrative work that has to be done in regards to that. And not just that, she also handled the customer service aspect. I have gotten so busy that I barely can respond to emails. I have a lot of people that's coming in. I have like a long wait list, and she keeps all of that structured in her own world. When I met with her, I think we're going on 2 weeks ago that me and her sat down together for our first like quarterly meeting, and she showed me like her things. She's also a project manager. So she was just showing me how she keeps things organized, how
Yeah.
she's able to reach out to certain clients, there's a lot of times I have a cancellation. I don't know nothing about a cancellation because by the time I see it, it's already filled. So I didn't even
Right.
realize that she just put somebody in that appointment for me today. So she's just like my second brain is amazing. And even if she is very honest. She's a Scorpio like me. She's very honest. And she will say, listen, friend, I don't know if this is working. This is what I think. If this is what you want to do, I'm going to completely support you. And I'm going to do everything I can to make this work. But I feel like there's an easier way to do this. And a lot of times it really works. So
Nice. Okay. Okay. I got some work to do. I told you that's my plan this week is like really, like you said, list out everything that I do or need help with and like try to figure out who could be in those positions.
yeah,
It's
good luck
time.
with that. It's gonna and your business is growing so much. You deserve that. You deserve that relief.
I do. So I could do more of the things that's going to actually like produce
That part.
income and stuff. Like, yeah. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. So
Mhm.
when you think about your legacy as far as Privacy Parlor, have you thought about like what you want that to be?
Um, just creating a high standard of beauty care for Black women. I think that if you check social media, you have a lot of people that's talking about how unprofessional it could be when they go get
Mhm.
their hair done and just things not being handled at a certain standard. And we
Mhm.
deserve that. We
Yeah,
deserve that even if we're getting our hair done is being handled at a high standard, not just the hair itself, but how I'm being treated, how I'm walking out. And I want to be just the example of there is a way to get this. There's a right way to do this. So my legacy has to be just pure professionalism and love when it comes to Black women and how we're being treated in this industry.
absolutely. I love it. Is there anything that's coming up next for you or Privacy Parlor that you could share?
Nope. I'm about to say not that I want to share. Not yet. I'm just a couple things I'm just kind of trying to keep to myself and just keep praying on.
Yeah. Okay.
The
We'll
things
we'll
is
keep
happening. I will say
we'll
that.
stay tuned. We'll
Thank
keep our
you.
ears to the streets and to the TikTok and the
Yeah.
Instagram and all of that stuff. Well, before I let you go, I have to ask you the Friends of Beauty rapid fire questions, which aren't
Okay.
scary, but if you need to elaborate, it's fine.
Okay.
So, the first one is, what are the top three keys to your success so far?
My support system, God, life learner, being a life learner. I always want to learn. I always want to continue to feed myself and make sure that I'm not just staying in place that I'm always learning. So I'm gonna say those three things.
Okay. How do you measure your success?
That's a good question. I measure my success by what I'm able to do for my people.
Okay, love that. What is the best advice you've ever received, or like a piece of advice that's always stuck with you?
I don't know why this is coming to my head. This is my brother. This is the friend that passed away. I call him my brother. He used to always say, why do you care so much? And it was simply, he would say that to me because I would be so consumed in what everyone else was thinking about me rather than worried about what I think about me. So
Mhm.
once I let go of the concern of everyone else, I feel like I've been able to do a lot much better in life and just be happier and more
Yeah.
free. So caring a lot less what other people think.
And that's just an Aquarius thing. Like, why you
Yeah.
care? Like,
He would just be like, he'd be so fed up with me. Like, do you not know that girl? Like, why do you care so much?
yes, I love that. What advice would you give to another loctician or lock parlor owner? Look, I'm trying to think of how to say it. Lock studio owner. Yeah. What advice would you give to someone else who's just like ready to give up?
That's ready to give up.
Hmm.
I'm going to say simply don't. Why? I mean, at a height, we talked about it earlier. We're at a height where locks are just so popular. Don't give up. I feel like figure out what it is that's stressing you out and remove it. If you
Hmm.
find that you have a lot of clients that's making your job difficult, get rid of them. I will fire a client in a hard time so quickly. If the vibe is not matching this thing, I will send you
Yeah.
a referral and everything, but it got to go because I need to be able to come into this space and love what I'm doing and love where I'm at. And if I have an environment that's not working for me, then I have to remove that, whether it's the people that you're working with or the people that's coming in.
Yep, absolutely. I love that
You get
advice.
rid of them, you stay.
Hmm. You gotta go. You ain't gotta go home, but you can't stay
Gotta
here.
get it. I'm telling you.
What's a resource that helps you in your business that you can share with the friends of beauty? Blah, blah, blah. What? Well, hold up. Wait. What was that? What was that?
Go
What
ahead,
is
run
a
it back, run it back.
resource?
Run it back.
What is a resource that has helped you in your business that you can share with the friends and beauty community?
A resource that I have, oh man, I have quite a few. I'm gonna say that I ended up getting a big resource. I was a part of JP and Morgan's business entrepreneurship program. It doesn't have to be that, but see in your community what options that you have, because there's a lot of free options and free resources that people are literally, it's their job to help you with whatever it is. So I'm going to say, find that out, find your resources. We have things like Google, but we also got ChatGPT. Say, I am in East Orange, New Jersey. I need resources for such and such, such and such. How do I get that? Where do I go? And see what comes up.
I love Chat. That's my bestie.
I love Chat. Me and Chat go together real bad.
So I got to come up because everybody has named their Chat GPT something. I was like, I got to come up with a name for that. I call her Chat, but I'm like, I need like a Keisha or.
I'd be like, hey friend, listen, real. I need your help. Help me with this email.
She helps me a lot for sure. So the last one is just a statement that I want you to repeat and just say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is blank, whatever you think it is.
Okay. So my name is Emily, and the key to longevity and success is faith and consistency. Faith and consistency. I'm going to say consistency more than anything, but obviously you need faith in order to do that. But I have been relentless. Even when things did not make sense, I just did not stop. So I would say be consistent and stay the course.
Absolutely. Before you go, please share your social media, website, however you want people to connect with you, follow the journey, get some products, whatever you want to share.
All right, perfect. So my website is privacyparlor.com. Parlor is spelled Parlor. And then you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Privacy Parlor, but I also have a personal Instagram and TikTok, and that is just separate from the brand, but you get a little bit more of a more personal feel of Emily, and you can find me at Lady Long Locks, and Locks is LOCS.
Lady Long Locks. I like that. I'm about to follow you now.
Please.
Yay. Thank you so much, Emily. This has been an absolute pleasure getting to know a little bit more about you and your brand. I'm just so honored.
Same. No, really. I was a little bit nervous, but as we started talking, I'm like, this is a conversation. This is two girls just chatting, okay? So I love this. Thank you so much. And thank you for having a platform like this for people like me to just tell our story and just to feel seen and heard. I really, really appreciate it. This is going to fuel me for the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with another friend in beauty. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe, rate, and leave a 5-star review so that other friends in beauty can find the show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, hashtag Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.